throughout Texas. Hospitals are filling up across the state. We read this morning that there are now fewer ICU beds available in Texas than at any time during the entire pandemic. And at this moment, schools are starting around the state, and parents are worried and students are scared. Local officials and local businesses are seeing what's happening and trying to do everything they can to keep people safe and to keep people able to do the things that they need to do to survive. And we know, and they know, that there are two things that help that happen: wearing masks,
recording in progress,
and getting vaccinated. And yet, in the face of these conditions and in the face of this science, Governor Abbott is using the full force of his office not to fight COVID, but to fight local officials who are trying to do everything they can to keep us safe. Let that sink in. Instead of using all of the resources of the state of Texas to fight COVID and keep people safe, he is expending his energy and the energy of the state to fight these courageous people that you see here today from doing what they need to do to keep people safe. And now he's put it on the call for the legislature to rule once and for all to wipe out any authority that local government has to protect folks in the workplace across the state. Why? Well, one is sheer cowardice in the face of the right wing of his own party. And two, that he and the leadership of Texas is governing to win a Republican primary rather than to keep Texans safe. We need better leadership today, and we cannot afford to continue down this path. So we'll be calling today on Governor Abbott to rescind his executive orders. We're calling on the legislature to reject SB 14 and HB 10 and stop all efforts to stop local government, the government that is closest to the people, from keeping us safe. So today we're going to hear from a broad array of local officials, teachers, workers, about what they're actually facing and what they're trying to do to protect themselves. We're going to hear about the impact of the state's efforts to stop them. And we're going to talk about what we have to do to come together to contain this surge and protect our students, our workers, and our communities. So first, I'd like to introduce Claudia Golinelli with the Workers' Defense Fund. She is the Workers' Defense Board Vice President. Claudia?
Claudia, ¿nos escucha?
Sí, perdón. Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Sí, mi nombre es Claudia Golinelli. Soy madre de 2 hijos, electricista, inmigrante. Soy una trabajadora esencial y vicepresidenta de la Mesa Directiva de Defensa Laboral.
Good morning, my name is Claudia Golinelli. I'm a mother of 2 children. I'm an electrician, I'm an immigrant, an essential worker, and the board vice president of Workers' Defense.
El día de hoy estamos con nuestros líderes locales de Texas que están haciendo todo lo posible para proteger a nuestras comunidades, a pesar de las órdenes del gobernador Abbott.
Today, we stand with our local Texas leaders who are doing their best to protect our communities despite the orders of Governor Abbott.
Greg Abbott quiere evitar que los distritos escolares puedan mantener seguros a nuestros niños en las escuelas y también que los gobiernos de las ciudades y condados puedan mantenerse seguros a los trabajadores en sus casas.
Greg Abbott wants to prevent school districts from being able to keep our children safe at school, and also city and county governments from being able to keep workers safe on the job.
Nosotros los trabajadores hemos estado en primera fila en esta pandemia. Sin embargo, honestamente, el gobernador y la legislatura nos han fallado. En vez de enfocarse en resolver las cosas que son prioridad para las personas en este estado, no podemos permitir que ellos eliminen para siempre la autoridad de los gobiernos locales que buscan proteger a la población trabajadora, como lo han hecho durante la pandemia. La pandemia aún no ha terminado, se está agravando cada día, ataca a más personas de todas las edades. Los legisladores estatales no deben atar las manos a los funcionarios locales que quieren mantener a salvo a sus comunidades con proyectos de ley como la SB 14.
Us workers have been on the front lines of this pandemic. However, the governor and honestly the legislature have failed us. Instead of focusing on solving the things that are a priority for the people in this state, we are discussing eliminating the authority forever of local governments to pass laws that protect us as they have done during COVID. The pandemic is not over yet, but has worsened again, attacking people of all ages. State legislators should not tie the hands of local officials who want to keep their communities safe with bills like SB 14.
El año pasado, yo, como muchos trabajadores esenciales en este estado, me enfermé de COVID-19. Estaba aterrada. No quería morir ni tener una deuda millonaria por mi enfermedad. Si sobrevivía, tenía miedo de infectar a mi familia. Mi esposo entró en pánico porque no podía salir a trabajar, mientras que estábamos en cuarentena y nuestros biles, ¿cómo los íbamos a pagar? Y él pensaba que yo podía morir.
Last year, I, like many construction workers in this state, became sick with COVID. I was terrified. I didn't want to die or owe millions in medical debt if I survived. I was nervous that I would cause my family to get sick. My husband became panicked because he wasn't going to be able to go to work while we quarantined. He worried about how we would pay our bills. He thought that I was going to die.
Estoy aquí porque no quiero que ninguna otra familia sufra lo que la mía sufrió el año pasado. Necesitamos que nuestros gobernantes puedan tomar cualquier acción necesaria para protegernos. Fui afortunada de sobrevivir al COVID-19, pero muchos trabajadores en este estado no lo fueron. Gracias.
I am here today because I don't want any other family to suffer what my family suffered last year. We need our government leaders to be able to take every action necessary to keep us safe. I was lucky that I survived COVID-19, but too many other workers in this state did not. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia. Muchas gracias, Claudia. And thank you, Ana, for translating. And your story, Claudia, is exactly why we're here, because so many millions of people are facing the same situation. Thank you for sharing. Our next speaker is going to be Johnny Livesay, who is a board member of Good Work Austin and is the director of operations for the excellent restaurant Salt and Thyme. Johnny?
Hey, good morning. Thank you all for having me here. I'm honored to be here with such a distinguished panel. You know, it's with a heavy heart to be here because the last year for restaurants has been extremely challenging, more so probably than any year since the end of the beginning of the last recession. You know, Good Work Austin is a representative of many restaurants in Austin who are trying to do right by their workers by providing sick leave and, you know, better working conditions as well as pay. You know, during the pandemic started, a lot of us weren't able to pivot into other ways of doing our business and had to close. And we've seen a lot of restaurants in the local area really suffer or just shutter. Luckily for Salt and Thyme, we were able, because we were a butcher shop, we were able to turn into a market. We were able to weather the entire pandemic without laying anyone off, getting expanded benefits into our pockets for our workers, and really trying to take advantage of some of the programs that were available. However, similar to what we're seeing right now, back in March with the mask mandate being lifted, the governor basically kneecapped businesses in Texas by eliminating the mask mandate, which took the access to the employee retention tax credit straight out of our pockets, which was a huge blow to our confidence in how we could run our businesses based on the ability to receive additional funds due to the lack of confidence in our revenue generation. And we're kind of seeing that again right now. The kind of sneak attack that we saw in the last couple of days of utilizing Section 14 of SB 968 that allows state agencies to basically come down on private businesses that ask for proof of vaccination, with a TABC, you know, approaching a couple of local businesses and to basically coercing them into lifting their desire to keep their workers safe by allowing their guests to provide proof of vaccine by threatening them to lose their liquor license. It's just an embarrassment for the state of Texas, which is supposed to be a very business forward, private entity forward state. So we're really having a hard time reconciling that. And, the options that we have to keep our staff safe are kind of dwindling at this point. We have reopened for dine-in at our restaurant, and we are, doing masks mandatory for our staff and our guests when they're not at the table. But it's really, our options for further providing any level of safety have really diminished. It's important for us, and especially for the restaurants that are involved in Good Work Austin, that our local officials have the authority to put in place any safety precautions that allow us to confidently run our businesses with the ability to make money and stay open, provide jobs, and also to provide safety to our workers and our guests. Bills like SB 14 and HB 10, it's just ridiculous. This is still the pandemic. For us, we're a fully vaccinated restaurant, but our guests, we're not mandating that they are fully vaccinated, and we want to make sure that they're able to be safe. Our ability to do that really depends on our local authority having the ability to make mandates that we can enforce. And when we can't enforce them, it pretty much undermines our ability to do our business safely. It's a real shame. And, I'm really hoping to hear from the rest of y'all that, we're demanding some change and we're demanding some accountability at the top, and looking forward to hearing what everyone else has to say.
Thank you, Johnny. The voice of business. We're supposed to be a pro-business state, and yet we're mandating to businesses from the state level that they can't do the things they need to do to be successful. So thank you for sharing that. Our next speaker is one of my heroes from Dallas, the county judge who has endeavored this entire pandemic, regardless of the forces aligned against him, to keep people safe and do the right thing. Judge Jenkins, if you could share some thoughts with us, we'd appreciate it.
Thank you, and you're heroes of mine. I'm from a labor family. I really appreciate what you've done. I appreciate the advice that you've given on workplace safety throughout this ordeal that we've been in. Currently, we are in a lawsuit. I've been sued by the Attorney General and a commissioner. I countersued the governor. And why are we in a lawsuit? Well, unfortunately, we're in a lawsuit because our hospitals and our people desperately need some time to get bed capacity and doctor capacity up, so that our hospitals won't be overrun for not just COVID, but any condition. And so that people won't needlessly get sick, go to the hospital, and even die from COVID. And so a judge has sided with me. I've quickly moved to require masks at all public schools, at all institutes of higher learning, child care centers, businesses, county buildings. And our people are following that pretty well. There's a couple hundred people every night outside of my house screaming curse words at my children, trying to break or swing off of a tree before the police can grab them. Sorry about that. I just can't get my mom to understand not to leave devices in the room that ring. No matter how many
your mom can do whatever she wants, okay? So go ahead.
No matter how many times I talk to her. But bless her heart. But but it's going pretty well with our people. I want to put in perspective for you why this is so important. And I'll just use Dallas as an example. I know Cesar and others and Andy are talking, and they can talk about Austin, and we can talk about other places. But in Dallas, we have 0 ICU beds left for children. That means if your child's in a car wreck, if your child has a congenital heart defect or something, needs an ICU bed, or more likely if they have COVID, need an ICU bed, we don't have one. Your child will wait for another child to die. Your child will just not get on the ventilator. Your child will be care flighted to Temple or Oklahoma City or wherever we can find them a bed, but they won't be getting one here unless one clears. And that's been true for about 24 hours. It's not much better for adults. And you say, well, what about Fort Worth? Why can't they go to Collin County or Denton County? Well, let's talk about ICU beds in those counties. in our 19 county areas, which include those counties and many others, as far as 100 miles away, we have 0 ICU beds left for our children. Our doctors and nurses are overworked. I'll tell you why very briefly. Governor Abbott, unlike the governors in the other states, did away with the contract for temporary staffing. So all of these nurses and doctors that would come in from other places or are retired or sitting at home waiting for that high paycheck to be a temporary staff went elsewhere. So when that happened, your big hospitals suddenly lost about 25 to 30% of their people that were taking care of you and your family. Then what happened? Then the headhunters came and they said, hey, Nurse Rick Levy, how'd you like to make twice as much money to stay at a Comfort Inn and work at a hospital, in Oklahoma? Some nurses said, yes, I think I would like to make twice as much money for my family. So we lost those nurses. And then we were way, way, way understaffed. And so people that could take early retirement, some did. This has been a long war and people are tired. And so right now we don't have quite as many people here in North Texas in the hospital as we did at our peak. Now, we do have more people in the hospital than all of Governor Abbott's arbitrary triggers of numbers before we could do things in the past. But it's not quite to that peak yet. It'll probably get there when the weather cools down a little bit. But because we have so much less staff, the patient to nurse and doctor ratio is the worst it's ever been in the modern history, not just COVID, but the modern history. This would be spanning back to the 40s and 30s of North Texas. So stakes are very high. And, it's not asking that much of people to wear a mask. We do need to push back on these attempts to erode local control because local government works best when it's closest to the people. But we need to remember also, although the Republicans and Governor Abbott want to make it so, this is not a battle between Governor Abbott and local leaders who happen to be Democrats or school board members or even Governor Abbott and families. We are all on Team Public Health. And every person needs to understand that the enemy is the virus. It's not each other. The unvaccinated are not the enemy. The vaccinated are not the enemy. We should all be together. If you've got an unvaccinated friend, last thing I'll say, meet them in a spirit of grace and understanding. Listen to what they have to say. Try to get them the information so they won't suffer like so many are suffering and will suffer. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Judge, and thank you so much for your efforts and just deep gratitude for all that you're doing. Really appreciate it. Our next speaker is somebody who's on the front lines in Harris County, Christian Menifee, the county attorney. Christian, can you share with us your perspective?
Absolutely. I serve as the county attorney for Harris County, and it's the civil lawyer for our jurisdiction out here. And I must say, what we're seeing right now by the governor is something that we have not seen many times in modern history. At the start of the pandemic, the governor was, like many other county judges, including Judge Jenkins, who just spoke, and mayors across the state, the governor was issuing executive orders. And those executive orders were designed to have measures in place to keep people safe. So whether it was occupancy limits or stay-at-home orders or mask mandates. And then sometime later, something changed. Now, this was around the same time that there was increasing polarization across the country on governmental mandates during the pandemic. And so what you saw was a divergence. Local leaders continued using the measures that have been proven to keep people safe during the pandemic, and the governor chose politics. And in making that decision, many people have been harmed. And so we're now at a point to where, in layman's terms, the governor is putting out executive orders that tie local officials' hands. But as I put my legal hat on, the thing that makes that so egregious is that he's using a law that provides him very, very limited authority to suspend certain other laws. So right now we have a governor who is effectively acting as not just the governor, but also the legislative body of the state. And that's a major problem. I've been reading through the Disaster Act all day long in preparation of a hearing we have today against the state in the case that we filed on behalf of Harris County against the state. And as I read that entire statute, it's very clear. The Disaster Act, as everybody on here can imagine from the name Disaster Act, was put in place to allow government to help people, to allow government to protect people, keep them safe, minimize the loss of life when we have a disaster, including the COVID-19 pandemic. But the governor's flipped that on its head. He's using that law now to do nothing more than to say, my view of people's constitutional rights is that they should not have to wear masks. And therefore, I'm going to use this law to suspend any other law you might use to keep people safe. And it's wrong. It's likely unconstitutional. And I will say it's a very scary time, right? When we've gotten to the point to where serving your base is so egregious that it causes you to go out and suspend laws to tie folks' hands. But I'm just incredibly grateful for the local officials across the state, including County Judge Lena Hidalgo, Mayor Sylvester Turner, and the folks in other jurisdictions who are bucking the system. You know, one important part of this is I've talked about how the governor is now acting as the legislative body, but he's not the courts. And so one of the reasons why we filed this lawsuit and why I'm sure County Judge Jenkins filed his counterclaims, and the folks out in Bexar County and San Antonio filed their lawsuits, and the school districts across the state have filed their lawsuits, is because this is exactly what the courts are for, right? When we're dealing with these major state law and Texas constitutional issues, we need the courts to come in and tell us what's what. And so I'm confident that the state Supreme Court is going to be able to take a sober look at the issues, a sober look at the law, and understand the real world implications of what will come from these cases. Judge Jenkins just mentioned what's going on out in Dallas, and of course across the state, and specifically here in Harris County, we're experiencing the same thing. Hospitalizations are up, ICU capacity is critically low. Just about every one of our schools will open up for the fall semester here in the next few weeks. Parents are terrified at the idea of having to choose between sending their kids to a maskless school and keeping them home, potentially hurting them academically. So everybody's having to make tough decisions, and now it's time for the courts to make their decisions. So, I'm just incredibly grateful for the folks on this call, including HISD trustee and Sung. They just issued their mask mandate. I'm incredibly grateful for the leaders, local leaders across the state of Texas who are standing up. I'm proud to stand alongside you. And at the end of the day, this fight is very necessary because, folks, the worst case scenario is the status quo. There's nothing that the courts will do that will put us in a worse situation than what we're in right now. So I look forward to continuing to fight with you all, and thank you very much for having me on today.
Thank you, Christian, and thank you for making the next transition that much easier by referring to Houston ISD trustee Ann Sung, who have been on the forefront of trying to keep schools safe. So, Ann, could you share your thoughts with us?
Good morning. Well, this past school year, we've been able to keep our schools open and safe using, three tools: using masks, universal masking in our schools, implemented all last year, and the governor helped us with that with his mask mandate. With vaccines, as soon as those came in for our educators and for our older students, and then with contact tracing. My job as a school board member is to make sure our kids are healthy, safe, and educated. And I can only do that, I can only keep my schools open in a pandemic if my employees don't get sick. And we've had, unfortunately, many educators, janitors, bus drivers get sick from COVID and even die. But I've got to minimize that as much as possible so that I can have employees to run our schools. And I've got to keep our parents willing to send their kids to schools. Over half of our parents in HISD chose virtual school last year because the pandemic was so bad here in Houston. So now facing the school year where we want to bring all students back in person, we have heard over the last week from hundreds of parents as the school year approaches, very worried about sending their kids to school. So universally, if you go school by school in Houston and you look at the parent leadership and what they're hearing from their community, the demand in Houston is for universal masking because we saw it work this last school year. It kept our kids safe, and we want it this year as the Delta variant is spiking in Houston. We heard from pediatricians yesterday. Same situation as in Dallas is what we're facing here in Houston. Our ICUs are full. Our children are getting airlifted out of Harris County. In order for us to be able to operate schools, we need to be using all of the tools the CDC has recommended, and those are still universal masking, contact tracing, vaccination. And so as a school district, I don't have a health department, but I look to federal, state, and local guidance to figure out what to do. So the Centers for Disease Control tells us that we must mandate masks on buses. Harris County's health department, we have an order from Judge Lina Hidalgo I very much appreciate, which tells us that the best way to protect our children is to follow CDC guidance for universal masking, for contact tracing, very helpful. And we're receiving contrary guidance from the states. Honestly, it's confusing to us. It's confusing to our parents. It was much easier for us to just keep our work focused on educating kids and explaining to our constituencies, our parents, our educators, what the rules are to do that when all three levels of government were speaking consistently. And so I would plead with Governor Abbott, please support us. As you did last year, the mask mandate saved lives in our communities and our schools. And as we're facing the Delta variant now, please reconsider, please support us so we can do our job to educate kids.
Got it. And thank you so much. And thank you so much for highlighting the need for the consistent message for safety. And the people who are dealing with the schools, are in the schools every day, are our teachers and classified personnel. And so I'm really proud to be able to introduce Alejandra Lopez, who's the president of the San Antonio Alliance of the American Federations of Teachers. Alejandra?
Thank you, President Levy. Good morning, everyone. As Rick said, I'm the proud president of the San Antonio Alliance. Our union represents workers in San Antonio ISD, including teachers, bus drivers, custodians, food service workers, and more. As union educators, one of our fundamental premises is that our working conditions are our students' learning conditions. And this has never been more true than during the last 16 months. From the start of the pandemic, education workers have been on the front line, offering social, emotional, and academic support to our students. We have tirelessly organized for safer working conditions for workers and safer learning conditions for our students. And make no mistake, the work of education unions throughout the state has saved lives. Yet every step of the way, we have had to battle Governor Abbott's callous disregard for the health and safety of our communities. Whether it was the struggle to begin last year with remote instruction amidst a devastating COVID surge, or organizing to ensure that millions of dollars of federal funding was distributed to school districts where it rightfully belongs, working people throughout the state, education workers, parents, students, community members, have come together in solidarity to stand up to a governor who is hell-bent on letting Texans suffer and die during this pandemic. And now we have another battle on our hands. This pandemic is far from over. We all know the Delta variant continues to ravage our communities, and once again, we have to do what working people have done for centuries: organize. Organize to keep each other, our students, and their families safe. Push our elected officials to take bold stands against the governor to institute one of the most effective mitigation measures we have: mask mandates. We are seeing the ground shift below us as city after city, school district after school district do what they have to do to ensure our communities stay safe. In San Antonio, working people have come together to elect Councilwoman Terry Castillo, an educator herself. Why? Because our local communities know what is in our best interest. Terry was elected because we know that she will put our needs first. And we know there are other elected officials, many who are on this call, who have the trust of their communities, just as Terry has ours. We know that when working people come together to demonstrate their power, the Republicans will hit back. And that is exactly what Senate Bill 14 and House Bill 10 is: an attack on working people throughout Texas as we take our safety during this pandemic into our own hands. Governor Abbott might be okay with putting the lives of thousands of our state's children at risk, but we are not. And that is why we demand that Governor Abbott rescind executive orders preventing our schools, workplaces, and local officials from taking necessary action to stop the spread of COVID-19, Delta variant, and that our state lawmakers oppose laws that interfere with local government's authorities to care for their communities, including Senate Bill 14 and House Bill 10. Thank you.
Okay, what she said, that's what I'm saying. Thank you, Alejandra. Really appreciate that. Yeah, we're going to ask the panelists to move a little bit more quickly through this at this point, because we want to make sure we give folks a chance to answer questions, but not at the expense of delivering your powerful messages. So let me next introduce my friend Andy Brown, the Travis County judge, who again is on the forefront of this battle here in the Central Texas area. Judge Brown. I don't see him. Okay, well, we'll come back to Judge Brown if he was on here earlier, so we'll see. All right, well, let's talk to Terry Castillo, the aforementioned council person from the city of San Antonio, who has already been introduced by Alejandra, so go ahead.
Thank you, Rick. I'm Terry Castillo, and I represent San Antonio's District 5. District 5 is a diverse district, but the most economically poor. And that is why we must continue to call on our state lawmakers to oppose laws that interfere with local government's authority to care for our communities. But let us acknowledge that it's taking organizers in the streets and bold leaders to hold our local leaders accountable to ensure that we implement and call for these demands and mandates. So it's important that we continue to organize while we have filed suit, that the work is not done, and we must continue to hold our local officials accountable in the same way that we are holding Governor Greg Abbott accountable. We know that Texas is diverse, and we should not allow the tying of our hands to ensure that we can protect our working families. In addition to that, we must use our power as local officials to call on our local government to make the strong recommendation that we call our superintendents use ESSER funds to implement remote learning options. You know, it's going to take organizing in the streets and coalition building to ensure that we protect our Texas residents. And I look forward to working alongside all of y'all. Thank y'all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Councilwoman. That amazing energy and a great point about the need to continue to organize together. Our next speaker, you know, this is not just an Austin, Dallas thing. This is all over the state. And our next speaker comes to us from Edinburgh, School Board President Miguel Mike Farias. Mr. Farias?
Yes, sir. Thank you for this opportunity, and I appreciate the invitation. Yesterday, Edinburgh CISD had an emergency board meeting to file a lawsuit against Governor Greg Abbott for him overreaching and trying to tell us what he believes is the best interest for our community. We cannot use a cookie-cutter approach addressing this COVID-19 virus. Edinburgh CISD was the first school in Texas to go out and become a license to vaccinate their community. Our district has done over 25,000 vaccinations. Wow. We were the first to vaccinate 100% of all our teachers and employees that wanted the vaccination, and along with our seniors. We're very proactive. So the reason why we did the lawsuit was because we know masks work. I will not allow at any expense, if we can do something to help prevent the spread of this virus, we're going to do it. Just to show you some numbers, our hospitalization today with COVID-related cases was 489. Only a month ago, on July 13th, it was 93. That's a total of 500% increase. In ICU, today, 106 cases. A month ago, 36 cases. That's an increase of 300%. But the most alarming is our pediatric, our children. Today, we had 49 reported. A month ago, there was 5. That's an increase of over 1,000%. We're going to do everything possible to go ahead and stop the spread of this disease. And we're going to continue, and I encourage us getting together, because together united, we're even stronger. And as school board president, I'd rather err on the side of safety than on the side of negligence. Wow. We want to do everything possible to protect the safety of our children, and we're going to do that as a board, as a community, and we have tough times ahead of us. But with direction, we can get through this. Wow. Thank you.
Mr. Farias, what a clear example of proactive government working to save people's lives. And
yes, sir.
It's outrageous that you're having to battle your own state government to be able to do the things that you know, based on your experience, is going to keep people safe. So thank you so much for sharing that. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Judge Brown, I already gave you a flowery introduction, but you missed it, so you go ahead now.
All right, thank you so much, Rick. So I'm so proud to be here today with everybody, this amazing local leaders that represent so many different diverse parts of Texas and diverse parts of the state that are being affected by this. Local governments like us here in Travis County are designed to respond to the specific needs that get impacted most by health emergencies. In the last month, my office has gotten a ton of calls, emails, letters, mainly from parents who are worried about sending their kids back into schools that aren't requiring masking. And teachers are worried about if they're going to be safe at work. Tired doctors and nurses and hospital staffers are just afraid that they're going to be, frankly, overrun and that they're going to see more pediatric patients as that number continues to increase each day. Every single one of the 254 counties in Texas and more than 1,200 cities in the state has unique needs. And that's the whole point of having local health authorities and local elected officials to deal with those unique needs. We take an oath to execute the duties of the office that we're entrusted to hold by the people of our local jurisdiction. And one of the responsibilities that I signed up for as county judge is to serve as the head of emergency management for Travis County. So that means I work with our public health authority and hospitals and issue orders that match their guidance based on science and based on doctors. And the governor is trying to take that away from us, trying to take away our ability to establish basic public health guidelines and codify this. We cannot allow this state interference. Local governments must be able to do what they need to do to protect our communities. I just want to say that in Spanish also. Los gobiernos locales están diseñados para responder a las necesidades de nuestra comunidad. Cada uno de los 254 condados del estado y más de 1,200 ciudades en este estado tienen necesidades distintas, incluso en términos de esta pandemia. Como funcionarios públicos, prestamos juramento para ejecutar los deberes del cargo que el pueblo nos ha encomendado asumir. Una de las responsabilidades para las que me inscribí como juez del condado es servir como jefe de respuesta de emergencia para el condado de Travis. El gobernador Greg Abbott está intentando quitarnos a nivel local la capacidad de establecer pautas de salud pública y codificar a través de su proyecto de ley. No podemos permitir esta interferencia del gobernador. Los gobiernos locales deben poder hacer lo que sea necesario para proteger a nuestras comunidades. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you, Rick, for including me today.
Thank you, Judge Brown. Thank you for your efforts. Very much appreciated. Now we head far west to early in the morning to David Stout, who's County Commissioner in El Paso, Texas.
Thank you. Thank you, Rick. It's a pleasure to be here. Good morning, everybody. I'm proud to be here with some of my colleagues, with Judge Jenkins, and Andy. Thank you all very much for your words. Muchas gracias, Andy, por hacerlo en español, porque sabemos que también hay medios en español y gente en español que nos está escuchando. Thank you to Local Progress for putting this together. My name is David Stout. I'm a county commissioner in El Paso County. And, you know, I feel like, you know, all of the speakers today have brilliantly exposed and have talked about things. And I think a lot of my colleagues from El Paso State have brilliantly exposed the fraud that is our governor. I'm going to be a little bit stronger spoken than some of the prior speakers. But, you know, they've exposed the fraud that is our governor and the entire anti-science Republican establishment. Simply put, there is basically a tiny person behind the curtain and sycophants, ideologues, and grifters who are in the front rows. When Greg Abbott was running for governor in 2014, I don't know if y'all remember this, but one of his most significant platform planks was something called, quote unquote, local control. And not just any local control, but local control for schools. Imagine that. And he told the Texas Tribune, quote, there is very little leeway for meaningful decision-making at the school district's level. While he decried a, quote, one-size-fits-all centralized approach to state school governance. And I'm not even going to get into the prescriptive testing and other ways in which he has, showed his slip over the years, but those are bad enough. But now when it comes to our children's health, to life and death situations that local authorities, especially school districts, are dealing with, he is making a unilateral, one-size-fits-all, centralized decision that's not even clear. It's not even clear if he has the legal authority to do so.
Yeah.
This is part of a pattern of centralized state control over local decision-making, from labor to economy issues to environmental issues and even more. I didn't think that he could make worse decisions, but there is really no bottom to what he and his enablers are doing and will do. And I am beyond furious. And millions of parents across Texas are as well. I have a 13-year-old son who fortunately is vaccinated, but he wears a mask every day. The governor is calculating, seeing this only through the lens of his political ambitions, but he has made a grave miscalculation. This is about policy, not politics. People dying, the virus is real. Wearing masks helps prevent the spread of the virus. So I think that, if he won't lead, then he needs to get the hell out of the way and let local decision makers take the responsibility that he refuses to take. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, David. I think we got your point. Appreciate your voice and your clarity, my brother. Thank you. And now we go to Waco for Councilmember Kelly Palmer. And really excited to have Waco represented in this call. So look forward to your words, Ms. Palmer.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's good to be joining such a ardent group of advocates and leaders. I'm really honored to represent Waco today. Like many of you, the capacities that we have locally are so diminished because of the risk of COVID-19 and the Delta variant. We have been at capacity with our ICU since Monday. I serve on our health response team, which is one of 4 mayoral groups that was established to respond to COVID-19. And every week I meet with our leading healthcare professionals, our epidemiologists, folks from our hospital systems. And on the call this week, I heard such a alarmist call from those physicians. There is such a level of exhaustion and burnout and desperation seeing what's happening. One physician mentioned that prior to this month, he was feeling like he and his staff were really coming to the end of the tunnel. They were seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, now to only realize that that light was an oncoming train. And hearing that as a social worker, reading the body language in the room was just devastating. These are our healthcare heroes that we rung our bells for and hit our pots and pans with early in the pandemic. And now we are betraying them and we're leaving them out to dry. So I join my colleagues in calling upon Governor Abbott to rescind this order, call upon the state legislature to not move forward with bills like SB 14. We were so excited in this budget cycle to commit to a $15 minimum wage for our City of Waco employees, and yet to see this preemption by the state is so devastating. So like so many colleagues have said, we know our neighbors, we know our constituents, we have to face them in our churches and in our grocery stores and in our parks. Let us lead in the ways that are unique to Edinburgh, to Waco, to El Paso, to Houston. Our needs are similar, but they are distinct. And so we ask the governor to respect our authority and to give us space to lead with humility and driven by science and best practices.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm so struck by the closeness of the people that you represent to your vision. And so that's kind of what we're about here. So our next speaker is Deb Armentor, who is from the Denton City Council. Ms. Armentor?
Hi, thank you. I'm in my second term in an at-large citywide position on Denton City Council. I'm also the mother of 2 Denton ISD school kids, and I am a college professor at a local university in a 3-college town. Both our public school board and local universities have refused to enact mask mandates to protect students in the community. But I'm very proud to say that yesterday, in an emergency called meeting that I and two of my fellow council members called for. We voted as a city council 5-2 to enact a citywide mask mandate. And I want to thank the community for speaking out, all the parents who spoke out at the Denton ISD school board meeting to beg for a mask mandate and were not heard. They were not heard by our school board, but they were heard by us, their city council. Also want to thank Judge Clay Jenkins, whose Dallas County mask mandate, Denton City Council has decided strategically to shamelessly copy. I hope you don't sue us for plagiarism, but we have shamelessly copied your ordinance strategically because we want to follow with you in solidarity. If they're going to come after you, they'll come after us too, and we are stronger together in numbers. I'm really pleased to hear that that you added colleges and universities yesterday to your mask mandate. Now we can do the same, and I hope we do the same too in Denton. We have 8 ICU beds left in all of Denton County, and yesterday was the first day of school. My kids said that only about 60 to 70% of the kids were wearing masks. I hope it's different today. Thanks.
Wow. Thank you. I'm impressed that your kids can do that percentage math. So that's good. They're learning even as they're dealing with health. So thank you, Deb.
They learn that at school.
Okay. Our last speaker before we get to questions is Greg Kassar, from Austin City Council. Greg?
Thanks, Rick. For over a year, I've been receiving regular phone calls from families who've lost a loved one to COVID. People who don't know how they're going to pay for funeral expenses, people who don't know how they're going to keep their home. Now we're talking to parents every day who don't know how they're going to take care of their kids in a community that's running out of ICU beds, in a community where we want to require masks in schools, but the governor seems hell-bent at a masks off policy. As a local leader, I know it's my responsibility to help in this crisis no matter what. And local officials from every corner of Texas are giving it their all to save lives. And all we're asking for is for the governor to help or get out of the way. Right now, instead of fighting the virus, the governor and the legislature are busy fighting against local health protections. While ICUs are overflowing across our state leaders are in special session. Are they focusing on economic support for families in need? No. Are they focusing on protecting kids in schools? No. They're moving forward with bills like SB 14 and HB 10, which are bills trying to ban local safety rules permanently. We need to choose people over politics. We can plan for a Texas that our children and our grandchildren can enjoy and be safe in, one where people's basic needs will be met. Despite Governor Abbott's best efforts to keep this pandemic going, local leaders are going to do everything in our power to save Texans' lives, and we're not giving up. So I want to thank everyone here from Waco to San Antonio to El Paso, Dallas, Travis County, Deb over there in Denton, Miguel down in the RGV, people all over the state fighting to take care of our people. So thank you all so much for coming together. Thank you to the Texas AFL-CIO, Workers Defense Project, and Local Progress for organizing this because this is truly a statewide movement of our communities standing up just to save lives. This is not a difference of political opinion. This is us trying to make a difference and save people's lives and actually value human life in our state.
Right. Thank you, Greg. And thanks to all the folks who have shared your stories and really demonstrate the breadth of what's going on. So we do have some questions. The first one is from Chuck Lindell. So Chuck says, it looks like you're going to have to defy the Texas Supreme Court, the judiciary, and Governor Abbott and AG Paxton. What enforcement mechanisms do they have to try and force compliance, and what can you do in response? And does this fall into the realm of civil disobedience? I guess, Judge Jenkins, do you want to take a shot at that? Are you with us here? Okay. And Anybody else want to take that question?
I'm happy to take a look at it. So, I mean, in general, what we're saying here today, like what we have done with our order, frankly, is that we believe that the governor has overreached. And so the only civil disobedience in a way is what he's been doing, because he does not have the power to limit local jurisdictions like school districts, counties, and cities from protecting people and making them safer. What he's trying to do is saying, it's like, if there was a dengue fever outbreak that is transmitted by mosquitoes, he has the right to tell all counties, you need to spray for mosquitoes to kill mosquitoes. If there's a dengue fever outbreak only in Austin, Texas, I have the right to say, hey, we're going to spray for mosquitoes here in Austin, Texas. However, the governor could not in that instance say, hey, Judge Brown, even though you have a dengue fever outbreak in Travis County, you cannot spray for mosquitoes. He doesn't have that right under state law or the Texas Constitution. And so that's really what this is about, is frankly, he overstepping his authority and us following our authority to keep the people in our local jurisdictions and the kids in our local jurisdictions safe from this pandemic.
Okay, are there other questions? All right. Any other questions? Okay. Juan, I guess then one last question is, if the Supreme Court sides with the governor, what is the next step? What are y'all going to do if the Supreme Court sides with the governor?
Fight.
Fight. Okay. Yeah, I think what I hear from folks here is that they know what is necessary in their communities. They know what is at stake in their communities, and they have sworn oath to uphold the safety in the communities, and that they're going to continue doing what they need to do in order to keep people safe, is the way I read what I've heard from people. So that's, I think, any other questions? Okay. Then what I'll just say to close this up is thank you to all the local officials who are fighting with everything they have to keep us safe. I think it's clear from your experience talking to people directly, you see it every day, the importance of taking these measures to keep people safe. We call on the governor to end his executive orders now, to stop tying your hands, and to let you serve the people that you're elected to represent. With that, I just want to thank all the folks from the press who have been here and listening to these powerful stories. Again, thank the local officials who are doing it, and thanks to Local Progress and Workers Defense for helping bring this all together. This is statewide, this is big city, this is small city, this is big county, this is small county. And it's just people coming together to keep us all safe. Okay.
And Rick, I saw that the judge popped back in. I don't know, Judge Jenkins, if you were hopping in to answer the question or not.
I'm sorry, I got pulled away for something. And,
what do you mean? There's something else going on, Judge? I don't understand.
Sorry, and I just jump back on. What was the question? If there was
the question, just is if the Supreme Court decides that against you, what do you do then?
Well, I think we'll huddle with our lawyers and our health experts, and we're going to do everything that we can to keep people safe. And I don't, if I had a plan for that, I probably wouldn't be sharing it with the media, because no disrespect for you right now, media, but seeing as how there's a suit to try to remove me from office, Ken Paxton's suing me, probably, but again, we don't know what the state of the situation will be, going forward. One thing that may happen, and one thing I think we should all look at, is The governor right now is basically, obviously, no longer listening to his 4 friends who are doctors, who were his health experts. He didn't pull together the infectious disease experts at state hospitals or others. He pulled together former elected officials who happen to be doctors. He's no longer listening to them. We've heard from 3 of them who've said this is not what they recommend. The other one is a state employee. He refuses to answer questions. You take that for what it is. But what's happening is, if you're going to govern by polls, you're going to make decisions by polls. The polls are changing as more and more people get sick, as more and more people see the danger and the problems in the hospital. It may be that if, as time moves forward, the governor will again listen to science, as he has infrequently, but some, during this pandemic. And then, so that's a hope and so.
Got it.
And one other thing I'd add, Judge, is if you look at the experience of our orders over New Year's, where we had the New Year's spike, we ordered that the bars close earlier on New Year's, and most of the bars complied. And while we were sued and we were in court, by the time the court cases proceeded, we were well past New Year's, and then the orders went away, and actually that really helped. And then again later in the spring, when we saw another spike, we were in court and people put on masks, and the cases went down far enough that we didn't need the orders anymore. And so you've seen in multiple Texas cities over the course of the last year how even when we are in the process of being in court, we can put these rules in place and reduce cases and save lives. And oftentimes the court process isn't even done by the time we have successfully done a lot of our job.
Okay, well, I think we're out of time. So
Rick, I just, if I could, I just wanted to say one more thing. Again, coming back with some strong wording real quick, but I just wanted to finish up with saying that, after hearing what Judge Jenkins said and what Greg said is, Abbott talks about personal responsibility, but he doesn't define it. He's advocating his responsibility. It's not meant to be punitive, but to set an example for people who are being confused by all the misinformation put out there. So just wanted to add that. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Good to see you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, yeah. Juan?
Yep, so it looks like there are no more questions from press. So we're going to go ahead and close out this conference. We're going to follow up with a press release that we'll be emailing to you all. And we are happy to set up some one-on-one interviews with all of our elected officials that are here. So we're happy to coordinate this with you wherever you are in Texas.
Thank you all.
Hi there, everyone. Will Dupree again in the KXAN Live studio. We've just concluded that nearly hour-long news conference from a number of local officials across the state of Texas, everywhere from Houston to Austin to Dallas to Denton to Waco to El Paso to the Rio Grande Valley. So they were really kind of bringing together a cross-section of different officials who have defied the governor's orders related to COVID-19, and many of them re-implementing mask mandates, challenging the governor's orders in particular. The governor has said earlier this week that mask mandates and other government mandates are not needed anymore, that it all falls upon personal responsibility. He has not changed his tune with that, so I would imagine that the comments made today, the calls for him to rescind his executive orders might fall on deaf ears at this point. We, however, are reaching out to the governor's office to get comment about what was said today, and if there is any particular interest to rescind some of these orders, we will share that response as soon as we're able to get it, but we are doing so and reaching out on our good faith and behalf on that particular issue. There may be also news coming out about some of these lawsuits filed. Harris County, one of the priorities there, mentioning at the beginning of the news conference that Harris County filed a lawsuit against the state, as well as some of the other school districts down there in the Rio Grande Valley. Edinburgh ISD, the school board president mentioned there, they also filed a lawsuit to be able to kind of stop Governor Abbott's order and allow them to implement this mask mandate that they would like to put in place for their students. So there may be a hearing about that later today, and if there is a result, we will be passing it along as soon as we learn information. So you can stay with us over on KXAN.com and on the KXAN News app on your smartphone. Please download it if you haven't done so already. Once again, I'm Will Dupree here in the KXAN Live studio. Thank you all for watching and listening. We'll see you back here throughout the day with other updates, so please stay with us. Take care, everybody. Stay safe and be healthy.